Good morning, guys. We've got a cool episode today because this is the first of possibly many to come Scala tutorials, so that's pretty cool. If you're new to the stream, I hope you like the content. Click subscribe at the end of the video if you like it. Otherwise, leave some feedback. That'd be awesome so that I can try and make these videos better for you guys in the future. If you're coming back, if this isn't your first time, welcome back, guys. Thanks for returning. Really excited to go over this tutorial with you, especially people who might be interested in using Scala in the future, because Scala definitely has its pluses. It's pretty fun to program in sometimes for some reasons, and I'd like to help get you over some of the pitfalls of Scala, like the fact that when you're creating a play application, it's kind of confusing to create a job runner, whereas like in normal programming languages, well, not normal, in other programming languages, usually it's a little simpler. So we're going to go over that today. We're going to go over how to create a Scala job runner. So I'll show you what that looks like right here. So what I mean by job runner is I want to be able to run from the command line a task that's it, yeah. So I've got the simple task that basically goes and gets professors from a college. So it gets like a list of professors, and all I need to do is drop into the SBT shell. So this is from my project directory. This is a play project. If you're new to Scala Play, check out the docs on that. I've linked some relevant docs in the description below. In the SBT console, now that we're here, we can call this run main task here, and that's going to run this class runners.runAthing. And runAthing, which we're going to go over how to build, is right here. All it does is it has a main method that goes and fetches courses. And so I can click run or click enter here, and my runner is going to go and get courses. And I just want to show you it's starting to get some courses. So here it is, like bootstrapping play. So this runner has the entire context of play in memory. So if you needed to get something from the dependency injection framework or whatever, you could use that in your job. So I'm going to show you something else. You can click Control-C here, and that will cancel the execution and drop you back into the SBT shell so you can run another task. So that's something else that's really hard to figure out to do for some reason. And we're going to go over how to do that in this tutorial as well. So we'll run this again just to show you. The idea is that you can run these tasks repeatedly. So tasks like this would usually be like maintenance tasks. Like if you had to go aggregate some data, or you needed to go send payments to a third-party vendor or something like that, you would run a task like this. Okay, so let's get into building this thing. So I want to create a new Scala object, and it needs to be an object because this main needs to be static. So we're going to call this perf test courses or whatever. So this is going to be a performance test. We need to add a main class. That's the first requirement in getting SBT to run our job runner. And to demo that this is working, I'm just going to print out perf test courses here. Perf test course is done, and then I want to drop back into, so from now on I guess I'm going to pull up the console that's inside of IntelliJ to show you guys this. I'm going to click Alt 12 here, clear out the log, and drop into SBT. And unless you're doing debugging, running SBT from the terminal is superior to running it through the SBT console in IntelliJ as far as I can tell now, because I'm unable to send keyboard input to a forked task while I am using the SBT console from IntelliJ for some reason. So I go into a built-in terminal here in IntelliJ and start SBT. And then we're going to type the run main and then our package name here, runners, and then runners.perfTestCourses. That's our object that we created here. And it says it's compiling it right now, which is all good. And it says perf test course is done. Alright, cool. So we've created a runner. It doesn't have the context of our application, so we can't get any of the dependencies in play. So what we do, and I've linked this in the documents, head over to the documentation for Play Console here. The link's below. And head down, or actually I would just search for run main. Maybe not run main. Search for console, I guess. Right here it says launch the interactive console. Go ahead and copy under this section that says to start application inside Scala console. Copy this block of code here and drop this into your main method. And that's going to start play if you want to. For me, I don't actually want play to start the app. I just want, or I don't want it to start the API. I just want the loader so that I can get some classes out of, or get some instances from my dependency injection manager. So I just comment out that play start app or delete that altogether. If you wanted to run the API from this, you could just leave that uncommented, and that would, I believe, start the API. I might not be sure on that. Anyways, so now we've got the instance of our play application, just not started. But anyways, we have enough now that we can get our our injector here. So app.injector is the juice injector, which does all the dependency injection in play. And we can do instance of on that injector. And we want a course repo. So now we have access to our course repo. And the way I was doing this before, which was really lame, is that I would run jobs. I would create a route in my configuration that says like run fetch courses or whatever, and I would implement that as a controller in the course controller. So I would do my job as part of an HTTP request, and that was really annoying just because of how weird it was, and it just didn't feel right. So now I can run these jobs from the command line and things are a lot better. I can see like the amount of time it took and everything to run. It's great, much better. So let's see, let's write a simple, or we're going to write a simple performance test, but first let me explain what we need to do in the build SBT, because there's a few important pieces here that you might want to add if you want to run these jobs successfully. So I'm going to comment these out for now and just show you kind of what happens. So I'm going to exit out of SBT to so that it reloads the config. So we run SBT here, and it's loading all this config from the build.sbt file. And if we run this time, I'm going to run the runner thing because it's a longer task. If we run this time, we're going to have a problem, and that problem is that we're not going to be able to quit out of the job. At least that's what I was experiencing when I threw this together first. So I just want to get the job running to demo this. Yeah, here it is. So we're fetching courses right now. If I hit Control-C, it exits out of SBT, and that's the, so now to get back into my job, not only do I have to run that run main thing, but I have to run SBT to drop back into the console again. So typing Command-C while you're running a task quits the parent SBT, and that's because we need to use a few options here to run our task in a separate JVM that we can quit out of. The first one is fork and run main. So you could do this if you wanted this to fork and run, you could, but for our job runners, we just need fork and run main here. And what that does is when you're running the task, run main, like so. Can you see that down here? Down here at the bottom, when you're running run main, it's going to create a new JVM to run that task in. So it's going to be another process. And with that, you'll be able to exit out of that process in theory. But to do that with Control-C, you're going to need to add these two options here. Connect input in run main and cancelable in global. I think we could also do in run main here just for our specific run main purposes. But that's going to allow us to quit out of our task while it's running without quitting out of the parent SBT. So let's save these settings here. And we have to reload SBT if we're changing anything in the build.sbt. Don't forget that. That is important. So it's going to load up all the SBT plugins and configuration. And then we're going to run our runner thing just to check and make sure it's still running. Cool, there it is, we're running. Can I quit out? I can, so I quit out and you'll see that it has this exception here, or it's angry that I quit out of the child process basically, but that's okay because I wanted to quit out of the child process. So now I'm still in SBT, so we could, you know, do whatever we want. We could go back and compile or whatever. We can run any SBT task we want without having to reload the whole SBT environment, which is great. So we've done it. We built our perf test. We haven't actually built the perf test itself, but we built the runner that will run the perf test. In the next video, I'm going to go ahead and actually show you guys how to write a perf test, which will help us fine-tune our indexes in Mongo and hopefully make it so that our app is a little faster, which will help in the long run keep costs low and allow us to handle more users. So that's cool. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this, as always, subscribe. Give me feedback whether you liked it or not, please. I really appreciate it if you guys do, because I want to know how I'm doing so that I can help you guys learn better and make these tutorials more interesting and fun. Another thing, let's see here. Check out the other videos if you guys want. Everything is free to distribute and share with your friends, or use for yourself for business purposes or personal reasons, just for fun. If you like the Scala tutorials, let me know because I'll make more Scala tutorials. I've been doing a little bit of that professionally right now, so that those are pretty fun to make, and I'm still pretty green to them, so green to Scala, so that's pretty fun to learn with you guys. So thanks for watching, guys, and check out the next episode on the perf tests. All right.